Hello folks, and a very warm welcome to the Supplier Spotlight Podcast. My name is Liam Ball, your magical wedding host, also known as the Gentleman Magician. And as I've said so many times before, this podcast exists to shine the light on the very best people in the wedding industry, the suppliers who don't just turn up, but elevate your entire experience. Now, as always, if you're enjoying these conversations, do take a moment to follow, like, subscribe, and share the podcast with anybody who's currently planning a wedding. It's often the only way that these conversations get out to people, and they really do help people realize what is actually possible on their wedding day. Now, today's guest is a wedding DJ, but not the sort who simply turns up and plays a safe playlist hoping for the best. This is somebody who understands atmosphere, energy and momentum, somebody who works relentlessly behind the scenes to build a dance floor that feels electric with nightclub level intensity and still at the same time being perfect for a wedding crowd. Now, I've personally seen this DJ in action, and I can say without hesitation that the atmosphere created was genuinely out of this world, and the level of energy doesn't happen by accident. It's crafted and it's worked for. So it is an absolute pleasure to welcome Daryl from Sweet Vibe Events. Hello, Daryl. How are you?
Yes. Good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yes, absolutely fabulous. Just loving looking to a new year and all exciting things to come.
Oh, this is big one for 2026. That was a great intro, by the way. Thank you very much.
Oh, do you know what? And it's
I was sitting here blushing.
yeah, oh, mate. And it's funny, you know. Everybody says that, but like I try to make sure that all the information that I say about people is validated and true. So yeah, it's all absolutely fantastic. Well, listen, I'll tell you what. Let's get into it, and let's start right at the beginning. Wedding DJ, great wedding DJ. How did DJing first enter your life, and when did weddings become the focus for you?
Oh, okay, right. So we're going to go way back. We're going to wind the clock way up now to when I was only 12 years old. And I've actually mentioned this a few times. You'll see this about somewhere on my website and that where I've spoke about this before. But I was very young, 12 years old, and where I used to live, I had a youth club. It was just like a place for youngsters to hang out, and there was a DJ booth and a dance floor. It was all blacked out. It's a bit like this vibe, but not as modern as what I've got going on here in my studio. But it was like a caged DJ booth, and all the older kids used to be in there. They would be having the vinyl. They used to have the Technics 1210s, take all their cases of vinyl up, and they started off mixing away. And I would just stare at them through this cage and be like, wow, that looks fun. I really want to have a go. And then one day, one of the older kids saw me, kept coming up. He's like, do you want to have a go, mate? And I was like, yeah, all right, come on, and we'll have a little blast on it. And as soon as I started there, I fell in love with it. I was like, this is a bit of me. And then they would host the odd parties there, and I got to do a little set one time. And what that crowd response when you drop a song and everyone goes, oh, like the bug just got me from that get-go. So from that young age, my mum and dad saw how much it meant to me and how serious I wanted to take it. I was like, I found something I really want to do from a young age.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they went all out on me, and they invested in decks, mixer, speakers, amplifiers, you know. And it's not expensive, DJ. Sorry, it's not cheap.
No, it's not. No, it's expensive.
And back then, even though it was cheaper back then, it was still really expensive. So I was very grateful for them for giving me that little step onto the first sort of little step into DJing. And then my dad, I'm going to show my age now a little bit, but to advertise, we didn't have social media when I was young.
Yeah.
Everything was local paper, you know, the telephone directory and all that. So my dad would just pop a little advert in the little local paper, a little couple of lines in there. And I started getting the odd sort of birthday parties come in. And I'm still young. I was still like 12, 13. So he used to drive me to these little birthday parties and little, you know, some of them were kids' parties. Some of them were like teenage parties. And it was just, I loved it. And from there, I continued to do that. I continued to do kids' parties and stuff like that, and teenage parties. And where I loved it so much, I kind of just fell into it. Then it was like an every weekend. And my dad actually is in sort of the acting world, and he knows a lot of musicians and stuff like that. And he teamed me up with a wedding band that he knew very, very well. And this wedding band used to tour all over the country. And I used to go with my dad. Obviously, we used to jigsaw Tetris all the equipment in his tiny little car.
Yeah.
And we used to go and do weddings. So I used to do that. So I done my first wedding. I was like 13, 14 years old. And I used to just do the infill bits for the band. So I used to just do a little 20-minute set, and the band would come on, do an hour, and I'd do another 20-minute set. They'd do another hour, and then I'd finish up with the last 20 odd minutes at the end of the night. And I really fell in love with weddings. Like, weddings was awesome. Like, I loved it. And then when I got to my teenage years, I was like, it's great and I still love it. However, I'm a teenager now, and all my mates are going out. They're all having a laugh. They're going clubbing, and he's having these mad nights out, and I'm stuck there doing weddings every weekend. So I was like, okay, let's do the transfer then. So I kind of got into like pirate radio when I was young. I grew up with sort of the house, garage, club, classic-y kind of era, the 90s.
Yeah.
So I started mixing that, and I started getting into bars, then into clubs, started doing some really cool places when I was younger. But although I loved that, the problem I had was I still loved weddings, and I loved the atmosphere at a wedding. So it was really kind of, I mean, the money wasn't great either doing the nightclubs. The nightclubs was always more of a, it's how much of a crowd you can bring. The money was never actually that great. And I still had the love for weddings. So eventually, when I got to sort of like my mid-20s, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to make the decision. So that was kind of how I got into it. And since going back to weddings, I've never looked back. I've just carried on, kept it going, and yeah, that's kind of how it started up until pretty much now.
Fantastic. So essentially, it's always been like high energy, because I mean, I can honestly say obviously I've seen a lot of wedding DJs, right? And I mean, a wedding night and an evening celebration, like that, they're I was going to say always, 99% of the time they're brilliant.
Yeah.
And then when I saw you arrive at that wedding, because we worked together recently, I saw you arrive at that wedding, and I was like, this guy's a bit of something else, you know. And I thought when I was chatting to you, and I was like, there's going to be this is going to be different.
I'm like,
this is
yeah,
going to be-
on steroids.
yeah. And it was genuinely, it was probably the most nightclub like experience that I've ever seen at your wedding. Because it's, I mean, sure, like a lot of DJs might play the same music at the same volume, but I think it was your personality and your own atmosphere and energy, like behind the desk. You weren't just there kind of pressing buttons and just going, oh yeah, track, and there was so much more that I saw that you were doing. Where did all that come from?
Okay, that's a great question. It's a really good question. I've never actually been asked this, so I'm quite excited to say this. So when I was younger, I was shy, and I remember doing weddings when I was young, and someone would say, "Oh, can you do this announcement?" And I'd be like, "Oh no!" Like the thought of talking on a microphone would just kill me inside. I'm like, that embarrassment of everyone looking over. And I think over the years, I used to do, when you just do something a lot, you get used to it. It's just practice, practice. But being young, even as a teenager, I mean, God, picking up a microphone, I was like, no, don't want to do it. Anyway, even if I can get one of the bridesmaids to say it, I'll be like, can you just say, like, the buffet's ready?
Yeah.
So I was very shy. And then over the years, you just get more confident, get a bit more confident on the mic. And I did kind of see a bit of a gap in the market, I suppose. So when I got sort of like, I mean, this was years ago, I've always been a very energetic person anyway. Like anyone I speak to who calls me at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what's happening? They're like, what the hell? How are you this hyper? Like my poor wife, she has to live with this and deal with this all the time. I genuinely have a lot of energy 24 hours a day. It takes a lot to sort of get me tired. So yeah, I think like I see a lot of DJs. Well, I don't see. I've heard from other people of what other DJs are like. I know a lot of other DJs, and I've seen clips online over the years, and you see sort of the DJ in the background. They always look really bored. Some of them look like they don't even want to be there. And I felt, do you know what? Like people enjoy that. And I suppose, it's more like the nightclub scene. When you look at nightclub DJs, how they are very animated behind the deck, especially nowadays. You go online, you see videos of people in these huge clubs and the DJs going absolutely nuts behind the decks. It's enjoyable to watch because if you are just simply stood there, pressing a button, it doesn't make me want to dance. It could be the best song in the world, but you kind of look at the DJ, it looks a bit sad, looks a bit, But if I'm having a great time and I'm enjoying it, it kind of like, it just has this weird effect on people. They're like, that looks great. It's almost like they get FOMO. They're like, I don't want to miss out on this. They all look like having a great time. The DJ's going crazy. But I get, that energy isn't for everyone. And some people just aren't like that. I think it's just the way I am. There's a couple of others I know who are similar to me, who are just very energetic. And I think it's great. I think it looks really good. I think it helps the dance floor when I'm having a good time. Everybody looks at that and they go, "Come on, I want some of that."
Yeah, well, it's like there's a whole process, isn't there, that you're sort of building and crafting there. So you're taking a room from that pleasant, almost catatonic after dinner, I could sit down and have a nap now.
Yes.
Atmosphere to absolutely electric, raising the roof. Everybody's partying on the dance floor. The photos look awesome. The videos look awesome. I mean, like how hard is it to create that atmosphere sometimes?
When you're used to it, I suppose it's easy, but it's taken time to understand. I mean, crowd reading is so important, and a lot of what I do is I get to know my couples really well, and I get a really good idea of the music that they want. Because there's no point going. You can play if the crowd are all like young and they want moderny, more like club classic and housey stuff, and you got to know that, and then you got to play to the crowd. If they're a crowd that only sort of likes a certain type of music and you're playing Cheese and Peter Andres and stuff, and they're just not into it at all, you've got to understand who you're playing to be able to even start building it. But I mean, I go in hard from the get go, as you probably saw that night. We don't save the big tunes till later because what you got to remember is they've all been day drinking, right?
Yeah.
So they're already smashed. They're well and truly ready to go. And a lot of DJs, they kind of go, oh, we'll start off with the first dance, then we'll go into something, cliche, and and then people will just clear the dance floor. Everybody walks off, and you're kind of like, oh. So we don't want that. We want to go bang. This is what it's about. The dance floor here is where it's happening tonight. And if you're not on it, you are going to miss out. So if you're going hard from the get go, bang, we show them what it's all about, and that holds them there, and it kind of keeps them. And I just use my skills and my expertise in reading dance floors along with the couple's playlists, because I get them to give me some samples of the bits they like. Some people give me loads of songs, some people give me no songs, and just go, you do you, we trust you. So it's all experience, really. You just got to know what you're doing.
So here's a question for you then. And I think there might be people who can relate to this. So you've turned up at the gig, you set yourself up, the first dance is happening, the first dance has happened, and the couple have said to you, you're the DJ, right? You're the expert, so you do you. So the first dance has been beautiful, it's been emotional, like people are crying, there's tissues, somebody wiping noses, it's been a wonderful moment. And now the song has ended, and you're like, right, I now need to go from where we are and raise the roof, and it's got to happen like now. It's got to happen now,
Yep.
right? What's your go-to track?
My go-to track is normally Robin S. Show Me Love.
Okay.
Now, this may change over the years because obviously I'm getting older and brides are getting younger. So this might change, but this has worked for me for a long time. And a lot of people say, I mean, it's an absolute all-rounder. Everybody knows it. You know, from whether you're younger or older, it's just one of those classics that you just whack on, and it's just such a powerful vocal. And everyone's like, straight in the deep end. It's that, or Finally as well is quite a good one. Or just anything really party, which Robin S. Show Me Love is probably my go-to. It's one of the power ones that just
fantastic
lets people know, you know, like you said, you go from slow dance, mirror ball, it's slow, it's soppy, it's romantic, and then all of a sudden we need something just to go boom.
Yeah.
And then it changes the whole atmosphere. Everyone's like, what? We're going in that hard from early.
Fantastic. Okay. And another music question, and I mean, some of these are probably a bit stereotypical for speaking to a DJ, but what's, let's say you're having an inquiry and somebody says, by the way, we don't care what else you play, but you absolutely must play this track. And inside you go,
yeah.
What's that track? What's that piece of music?
Oh, what, something that I wouldn't like?
Yeah.
If it was me, if they requested something that I can't stand, there's probably two songs that I could give you. It's just kill me, and I'm like, one of them, Oops Upside Your Head.
Yeah.
No wedding has any right to be having that on the dance floor. That is just
nobody wants to be rolling around on a dance floor that people have been walking through all day, walking outside, spilling drinks on. Like, nobody wants to do that.
I hate it. And yeah, the whole sit down and the whole, I can't stand it. It really does make me feel sick. I can't lie.
I think I'm with you. Yeah.
The other one is DJ Casper Cha Cha Slide. It's just so cringe. Like, and I get it, you know, people will get up and dance to it.
Yeah.
They do. And there are some couples, I still have to play it now and again because the bride's paying me and she says, you know, that is our jam. We need to get that on at some point, or my daughter loves it and she, you know, we have to have it. Yeah. So I'll find the best time to slip it in, just get it done, get it out of the way, and then we can just move on quickly.
But you still have to keep that energy high, right? Even if they demand those tracks.
Yeah, and I say this to a lot of couples because, you know, I always say you have to think of your guests. Don't just think of, you know, there's some songs that appear on certain playlists, and I'm like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to get that in. Like, it's not a party tune. It's either too slow, or it's so random that I haven't even heard of it. So chances are not many other people are going to hear it. So it's hard to try and slip in. So I have to say to them, look, think about your guests. Don't just, you know, think about what you like listening to in the car on the way to work, because it's a very different vibe. When you're at a party, you need sort of high energy, you need fast, upbeat. Don't get me wrong, you can still do like Motown and stuff like that, but there's a time in the night when that works. So that would normally be a bit later on, or maybe after the buffet. We'll stick a few little Motown ones, get the aunties and the uncles up there, mums and dads, nans and granddads. But yeah, it's yeah. But you've got to be careful.
I mean, I think, and this is probably something that you might come across, right? I think a lot of people misunderstand how much work goes into something like DJing, right? And I think there's probably still a lot of people out there who think, but all DJs do is play music and press buttons, right? I mean, how hard can it be?
I've had this for years.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, there's so much more that goes into like curating and building that. Even if they go, listen, we've got 15 tracks, right?
Yeah.
And then and you look at it and go, yeah, these are all absolutely fantastic tracks. And then of course you're going to build and curate a playlist around them. I mean, what's the process that you would go through there?
So with the couples themselves, I have an online planner system. They can log in. They can, if they want to fill out the songs. But it's all like the meetings before, we have WhatsApp groups with the couples so we can ping ideas and music stuff to each other, and they can say, what about this song? Or what do you think of this for the first dance? Or can you make me something like a remix for a first dance, which I do. Yeah. So I do loads of, because I'm a DJ, a proper one.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, I think this is something people don't get, is that a DJ is not somebody who just plays music. Like, you've got skills.
I mean, there are, don't get me wrong, there probably are quite a few up there that are just, they turn up, you'll give them a Spotify playlist with 400 songs, they press play and they just watch the whole night. I hear this a lot, but you do get those types. But obviously with myself, it's, it is like, it's a passion. So I want to make sure that this is perfect in every single way. So I have to take, the playlist. I take guest requests as well on the night. But it's not just pressing play, it's the mixing as well. The mixing is like an art form where you're going one song and smoothly transitioning it into the next song.
Something many people can't do.
No, and I heard this recently. A lot of people tell me, I speak to a lot of photographers, videographers and that, and they're like, this guy who just car crashed after the first dance, just played a song, and then he just all over the place into the next song, and it was kind of like there was no momentum, or they fade and then they bring the next one in, so you've got that little pause. And when you get a pause on the dance floor, what happens is you lose that momentum for a minute, and they go, right, should we go outside and have a vape now? Should we have a smoke? Should we hop to the bar? And it's like you got to keep that momentum going to keep them on the dance floor. As soon as you pause that song, or you have a little bit of a blip where you're bringing in the next one, then you're gonna lose them.
Yeah, you've got to keep it going. And I mean, I think really, and kind of everything that we're talking about now, and it aims to a point, doesn't it? Is that the product that you're advertising, that you're offering, and that then on the day that you're delivering is ultimately, in a lot of ways, it's superior. And I think having seen it, I mean, and I said it before, almost every wedding I've been to, the party night's been fabulous. Whether the DJ is just somebody who's just playing the track, or whether, I mean, like, it was a different level when I saw you. But I think that's probably the reason why, and it's probably something to get to, is that, I mean, like, you just need to look at your website and scroll to the bottom of the page. I mean, let's have a look. What have you got here? You won the Wedding Essex Awards for DJ of the Year in 2020, 23, 24, 26. The Wedding Industry Awards at a regional level, 2019 and 2026. The national winner, so the best DJ in the country, 2026. The Hedge Wedding Awards in 2020. I mean, I could go on. Like, there's a litany of awards that you won. And I was like, I can't even fit all these on one screen. Like, what's going on? Like, how does that recognition make you feel, and how does it change your offering in business?
For me, it's just, you know what it is with awards. It's more of a pat on the back for yourself to know that you're doing something good. It's that recognition. People can tell you, "Oh, you're brilliant." We love watching you. You're very different. Blah blah blah, and that's lovely. But getting recognised by something. I mean, for me, like the Essex Awards, the Essex Wedding Awards, and the TWIA, in my opinion, are they are the daddies of the awards.
Yeah.
They are the most respected. They are the only ones that you actually, go to a ceremony and collect an award on stage. And there is a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes with these awards, with collecting votes from all your couples, getting your business into shape, where you've got to, relook at your website, make sure that's all looking amazing.
Yeah.
Looking at your social media, making sure it's on point, because you want to win, otherwise what's the point in doing it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it really does make you look at yourself and go, right, what can I do that's different to everybody, and how can I excel at what I do and give people an experience that no one else is doing, like just blow it out of the park. So I mean, I love the awards. They are going to be coming to an end for me very soon. I've got not enough room on the website to fit any more on. I'm taking it. No, I feel like, once I've had a really good stint with awards, and it's been, really good, but you can't. It just gets a bit stale if we keep going.
Yeah.
And keep winning. It's like, what's the next thing? Like we need to look at what I'm going to do next now and see what we can push now to doing something else.
Very much about kind of stepping up what you're doing, I suppose, because at the end of the day, you've been there, you've made your mark there, you've done that. And I mean, to be honest with you, looking at the number of awards that you've won, it wouldn't surprise me if you're now approached to say, "Hey, would you judge for these awards as well?" Right? I know that.
Yeah. That's probably the next step for me. Would be that exactly that. And I'd love to do that. That for me would be brilliant. I mean, it would take the pressure off me having to keep entering.
True enough. Well, keep entering and win it, right? Keep entering and win.
But keep coming back constantly. I'll be like, "No, do you know what? Yeah, we can just judge them now," which is great.
I get you.
And you know what? I love seeing other people succeed as well. You know, like I've got a lot of DJ friends in the industry, and you watch them doing stuff and people doing things to their businesses, and I love it. And to be a judge for me would just be amazing because I could watch and help. I could actually help people grow and be like, "Do you know what? Have a look at this. You know, maybe you're doing this wrong. Like if you want to win next year, like this is what you got to do." And I can give advice and tips and say, "Look, you know," and I feel like, because I've got a few friends who are really good friends of mine who are really trying to change the industry at the moment when it comes to DJs, because I feel, and they feel, that, you know, DJs aren't always sort of a serious part of the weddings, that people don't sort of value very much. Which is strange because, you know, everything else gets a lot of value put into it. Like, oh, you know, we want this, but DJs, you know, we're the only in-house person as a supplier that comes with a wedding package. It's a DJ.
Yeah.
And they're cheap as chips. Yeah. And they get, you know, Disco Dave from the social club to come in and do them. And yes, he gets the job done. Yes, he turns up every week. Does he excel and make it unforgettable? Probably not.
You know, I find it the same. Interestingly enough, the same with Toastmasters, right? Because a lot of wedding venues will offer a Toastmaster.
Oh yeah,
and as you say, cheap as chips, and it's somebody who's going to turn up and they're just going to be there, and it's
bare minimum. Yeah, bare minimum. Get the job done.
Yeah, because it's like it's one of the most important days of people's lives, right?
Well, yes, I know. And you think, why not? Even just if you recommend something and say, look, you know, here's a cheaper option and here's an expensive option, and let people choose, but to just throw things in with the package, because sometimes even couples, they don't really think, or they're doing this for the first time as well, so they haven't got a clue. They think, well, we're spending like 50, 60 grand on this wedding venue, surely they're going to bring someone good in, and it's got to be good. Look at this venue, like it's gorgeous. But they don't, and it's like, and they just get this Sid bloke from down the road, and he'll just rock up. He'll bring a little table in with his one speaker and his one little flashy light. And by then it's too late. You can't. There's nothing you can do. You trusted the venue, and a lot of the times people won't say anything either because it was still the best day of their life.
Yeah.
So they're not usually going to then, you know, the damage is done now. I mean, unless it was absolutely car crash like that bad when they had to make it.
I think probably as well is that in advance, maybe, and in the moment, I imagine that there are so many people that just don't realise that there is a difference.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine it's the people that, in fact, I know actually from my own, it's people who get that exemplary service that turn around and go, do you know what? I thought I knew what you were going to do, and you've done all of that, and that was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like what you've actually delivered has been so far beyond what we expected.
Yeah. And that's what I aim for. So that is like my whole philosophy right there. Yeah. You know, you got people's expectations. I want people to mess with me the next day and go, do you know what? We thought you were good. We've heard you good. We've seen that you've been good from other people, but wow, like you literally were next level. Like we couldn't. And one thing I get back as well, which I love this, is I am so expensive, like price wise. Not it's each to their own for this, but compared to others, others are here. My price bracket is like here. Yeah. In fact, it's there. So it's really, you've got to be able to try and like differentiate yourself, then see why you're so different and why you are so much more money than the average. but every single one of my couples always says worth every single penny.
That's right. And you're offering value.
Yeah.
You're offering value, and other people are focused on cost. And
Yeah.
it's a funny thing, right? It's very similar in the magic industry. Like
Yeah.
there is, I know countless magicians who go out for £200 or £300 to a wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a race to the bottom. People are going on sites like Bark and
These
and it's an absolute race to the
whole
bottom.
podcast on that bloody.
Mate, we could let's you know what? Let's knock out. I might even edit that out, right?
Just
Scrub it. But I mean,
give them the promo.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But it's like there's such a palatable difference from like using magicians as an example.
Yeah.
Like you're going to hire somebody for £200 or £300, and you could literally be getting a 14-year-old with a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Right. And again, people don't notice the difference, and then a pro walks in and they're like, "Whoa, okay,
yeah,
that was different, right?" Yeah. So, okay, here's another question for you. It's the day of a wedding.
Yeah.
You've prepped, everything's ready. You know what you're doing when you get there. What's your morning routine pre your wedding?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's pretty. To be honest, the getting ready part's the same like any other day.
Yeah.
I get up, have my shower, I freshen up. Once I've had my shower, I'm raring to go. Load the van up for early morning. This is like really early morning. And on my way to this is quite funny actually. On my way to a wedding, to psych myself up, I will listen to all the stuff I used to listen to when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I'll stick on garage playlists, club classics. Sometimes I'll even put on a drum and bass bangers.
Yeah.
Just like going nuts on the way up there, just psyching myself up, getting crazy. But when the wedding's done and I'm driving home, magic all the way home. Slow ballads, melodies. I'm singing along to Whitney.
The chill out. Yeah.
It's that wind down afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as routine, I suppose it's just, normal routine, but I do psych myself up because I get nervous still before every wedding. So I've got to it's every time, I always get those pre-show butterflies.
That means you care though, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
That's exactly what it is.
So wrong. I've spent so much time on each wedding, planning, prepping, making sure I know their names. The last thing I want to do is and you do hosting as well. So you know full well, you switch on their name. You got to, I know. You got to just make sure it is. And when you do all that, just the butterflies go. I think once that first dance is done, I am literally sailing home from there. Like once the music's on, once we've got all the important bits out of the way, then it's just easy from there for me. But it's just that, those bits, and sometimes I do all the ceremony music and all that as well. That is a massive pressure for me. That scares the life out of me every time because they're trusting me with that. This is essentially probably the most important part of the day. On that, I got to make sure. So that's why all these planning meetings I do with the couples, video calls, I have to make sure that I've got all the right versions of the song. Sometimes they want this song and it's like, it's sung by somebody else because it's a cover version. So it's like, I've got to make sure this is all.
Sure, it's all there. Yeah, I think you check it a million times, right?
No, I can't. The thought of something going wrong. So yeah, I've got backups in place, but human error. I suppose if you slip up, you slip up. There was the one time it did happen to me a few years ago. I was introducing the first dance.
Yeah.
And stupidly. So I normally have their names anyway on the first dance written down in front of me. And for some reason, this day I didn't. Yeah. And their surname was really easy. It was something like Smith or something. And I knew it. I bloody knew it. I'd practiced. I knew them as people. We'd already met like twice. And we've had so many video calls and WhatsApps and whatnot over the years that we'd been planning. And I introduced, and I was like, ladies and gentlemen, all getting it hyped up. And I was like, please welcome onto the dance floor for the first time as husband and wife. Please give it up for. And I was like, Mr. and Mrs. And it just went see ya.
Yeah.
Just completely went out of my head, and annoyingly, I didn't have my backup that I normally. I've no idea. Maybe I was just so overconfident that I knew that I wasn't going to mess it up. This is why I messed it up. And to recover it, I just paused for a split second and went, "The bride and groom," and everyone went, "Yeah!" They all went nuts. I was like, "Yep, swerved it."
Yeah.
To the power stars. But it was so scary. It was just horrible. It was such a horrible experience. But luckily, I redemptioned it well. But it wasn't for me. I mean, no one else probably had a clue that I'd messed that up, but I did.
Yeah.
And I was kicking myself the whole way home.
Never forget it, do you? You never ever forget it.
So I've learned from that now, and no matter what, no matter how easy their surname is, that is written down in front of me, just at a triple check. So if I need to just go boom, it's right there.
Get it.
So yeah.
So here's a question for you, and I'm going to kind of start winding it up now, which is maybe a great question. So couples are planning a wedding. There's loads of people out there planning a wedding. Hopefully they're listening to this podcast. They're getting some great ideas about DJs, about what they should be looking for. So let's caption that and wrap it up. Beyond go and book Daryl at Sweet Vibe event to the best party night ever, what should people really be thinking about and focusing on when they're looking for a DJ?
I think first of all, prioritize how important the party is for you getting married. Some people have music and entertainment and party really high. When I got married, it was one of my biggest outlays, and I was like, that is the most important part of my wedding for me. Party. That obviously being a DJ, my wife's a DJ, so together we are just party people. So I was like, that's the value for me, is all in the party. So if it is in the party, then I would say, go out and look and research and try and make sure you find someone that is on your level, that is your vibe, that plays your type of music, and is going to sort of guarantee to create what you're looking for. If you're looking for like a really vibey wedding, then you want to go all out on it. But if you're not so bothered, if you don't value the party, you think, you know what, our venue comes with one. It's already included in the package, so that's money that we're saving, and we're not really bothered if anybody dances. If they dance, fantastic, and if they don't, it is what it is, and that's absolutely fine. That's your vibe and the way you want to be with your wedding day. Then that's absolutely fine as well. But definitely do a lot of research. There's a lot of things that don't just look at somebody's website either, because people's websites are made by themselves, believe it or not. So you can say what the hell you want about yourself. So always make sure, you read in reviews. You need to look at videos of them. One thing I find really strange with a lot of DJs is you don't actually, if you go on pretty much most of wedding DJs' Instagram or Facebook pages, what you'll see is a lot of DJ booths.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because that's like you as a magician just posting up pictures of cards.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Hats.
Yeah.
Or, because the booth is just an accessory. So you want to see these people in action. So if I'm looking for a magician and I'm looking at your page, I want to see people laughing their heads off. I want people with faces like this.
It's all about social proof, right?
Yeah. I want to see you in action. I want maybe even see some of your tricks. I want to see you blowing people's minds. Yeah. And once I see those reactions of those people, then I'll be like, okay, well, he must be good. Then he's not just saying he's good. I can see he's good at doing. Do you know what I mean? You've got that proof right there. So I think, if you're looking at, you need to go and watch videos. Don't just watch videos. Anybody as well can play Freed from Desire or Mr. Brightside. My nan could drop that as a DJ and the dance floor would erupt. Yeah. So you don't just judge it on, obvious songs where DJs will have, like, every other post will be everyone trying Free from Desire. Yeah. Because it's going to happen no matter what. So you have a look at other videos. Make sure they're not just sort of like that song, but they've cut the song out and dubbed a little other song over the top of it. Do you know what I mean? Where you can add a song to
make sure it wasn't
just do a lot
of right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It'll be just do a lot of research, and just figure out your priorities on what exactly you want out of your wedding. Some people will spend 50 grand on decor. and they'll spend £100 on a DJ, but that's fine because they're more into decor. They want the place looking banging.
Yeah. I think so. Right. I think you've got to focus on what's important. I mean, I obviously, I always think that entertainment at a wedding is probably one of the most important parts of the day. For a lot of reasons, because at the end of the day, your wedding day is for you to share that moment with family and friends, and you want them to be entertained all day long. So, last question, what do you think is the biggest mistake that couples make when they're planning their evening entertainment?
Wow, that's a big question. One mistake they make. Probably not booking me.
I can agree with that, right? I can agree with that. I think I would say in that regard is sometimes just not booking
Never
enough.
book me. That's the biggest mistake they could ever make.
Yeah.
No, biggest mistake.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I would say, having been to a lot of weddings, probably the biggest entertainment mistake I've seen is just not booking enough. I've even had couples say to me, "We're not bothering with entertainment all day at our wedding because they're adults; they can entertain themselves." And it's like,
Yeah,
that's not how weddings work.
And then you get loads of people. So I talked to so many brides. They're like, "Oh, we went to my sister's wedding, last year, and she didn't have no music throughout the day. She didn't have no magicians walking around. Literally nothing. There was nothing all day. No background music, and like it was just boring as hell. Like you have a few conversations with people, and they're just sitting around with literally nothing going on. But that doesn't mean you have to sort of over-conversing. Don't go too mental either on entertainment because you can also overdo it and make it into a bit of a circus. But just something going on, like magicians walking around. I mean, I loved you. Dude, your magic was sick. I'm like obsessed with magic. If I wasn't a DJ, I'd be a magician.
Yes.
Having that, I swear to God, that's either that or a videographer. I also like making videos, but yeah, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, just simply having a magician walking around, just keeping the energy up, having banter with the guests, people enjoying themselves, just little things like that with a bit of background music is fine. Some people go out, they'll have crazy golf, they'll have, you can go ridiculous with it, and there is no real end, is there, really, to stuff you can get for weddings nowadays.
Yeah. Great. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that there's like an easy takeaway message here, isn't it? It's that it's not difficult to plan entertainment for a wedding if you've got Daryl from Sweet 5 Events.
I'll help out plan it, or I'll just be a wedding planner as well.
Oh, mate. Booked.
I love it.
Listen, Daryl, it's been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. Thank you so much.
And yourself. Thank you very much.
Let's catch up soon.
Lovely. Take care, mate.
And there you go, folks. That was a fantastic, insightful conversation about what really goes into creating an unforgettable party evening at a wedding. Now, if you're planning a wedding and you want an atmosphere that feels energetic, immersive, and genuinely unforgettable, as I said before, I can wholeheartedly recommend Daryl and Sweet Vibe Events. You can find him online at sweetvibeevents.co.uk and on Instagram at Sweet Vibe Events. They're both well worth a look. Loads of social proof there as we talked about it. And do remember, if you're listening or watching, thank you so much for being here. Please follow, like, subscribe, and share this with people that you know who are getting married. Often it's recommendations and discussions like this that make a difference to somebody's wedding day. Until next time, folks, make sure that you choose your suppliers wisely, and I will see you on the next episode of the Supplier Spotlight Podcast. Take care.